Okay, so the immediate window is the first of the three we're going to talk about. It's Control G is the keyboard shortcut, but you could click on that. Let's hit Control G on the keyboard. Here's the immediate window down here. What you can do with the immediate window is you can kind of cheat along the way. Let's say you had a long macro and you just wanted to kind of change a value just to see what it would do if it would change your results the way you wanted it to. Let's go back to variables 1 just for fun. And we'll expand this just ever so much. So in this one here, my variable declaration, we messed with some variables, and let's do a little bit more, and we will change something on the fly. So, okay, here we go. Hit F8, and we're debugging, and we're looking at stuff, and we say hi equals hello world, and my variable equals 634.85. Wait a second. You know what? I really want hi to say hello Sweden exclamation point for the time being, not forever. So let's just go to the immediate window by hitting Control G. And let's say hi temporarily equals hello Sweden. And exclamation part. And quotes. And so even though we don't have that line highlighted anymore, if I hit enter, it will accept that variable change. And so if I hover over hi in my actual text, it'll say hi equals hello Sweden. And so if I continued and I was multiplying something, or if I was analyzing the text, it would be analyzing hello Sweden instead of what it's hard-coded as hello world. So it's like a temporary interference so that you can see different things. One other really cool thing that you can do in the immediate window, and you can do this in your actual macros as well, but I'm going to teach you about debug.print. So that's if you wanted to see what one of the variables was and you didn't want to use the watch window, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So let's say debug.print, and you hit a space bar, and then you can put whatever you want to see, a quick flash of what that value is, and it'll kind of print it right below it. So let's say I wanted to see what, let's see what my date 1 is. So if I hit enter, it's going to debug.print that out. It's going to print it out right here. It's going to show me that, hey, my date 1 is there's really no date. It says midnight, which has a value of 0. So if I hit F9 or F8, now if I debug.print what my date 1 is, it'll show me that it has the value of 12/31/2014. So that's a little bit about the immediate window. I'm going to close it down now. By the way, it doesn't delete the values. If you hit Control G, the immediate window still has whatever you had in it just a moment ago. Back to the view menu, the locals window and the watch window. So the locals window, let's pop that up here. That is taking a look at all the good stuff that we are messing with in the current variable. Now the current procedure. When the current procedure is done running, we're not in break mode or running, then it won't be really watching anything because it won't be watching any local variables. But anyway, it tells you the name of the module you're staring at, which is variables 1, that's correct. And right now it says the variable hi is a string, and hello is a double, and my date 1 is a date, and that hi set is the value of hello Sweden, and this one is the value of 0, and this one is a date that is 12/31/2014. So that's pretty cool. Now if you expand variables 1, you may get a hint at some other things, so it may show you a little bit more. I'm going to collapse it back down. So that's the locals. So let me show you by hitting F8, and as soon as I hit F8 or F5 to end this macro, the locals window will no longer be watching those variables because they're not running anymore. So you can leave the locals on if you want to see what's going on with your current macro. Let me close that. Next one is the watch window. That's really neat too. It does essentially the same thing, but you can choose which variables or which things, expressions, if you will, that you want to check out, that you want to keep an eye on while you're debugging or running things. So, a couple ways to do this. You could just highlight what you want to see. So let's highlight the word hi and right click and click on Add Watch. Or you could go to the View menu and you could go to, let's see here. Oh, no, that was right. So double click on that and right click, and we're going to add a watch. And so here's where the expression, we just want to check out the variable hi, and all this is fine. You can either watch the expression and just see what happens to it, or you can break when the value is true. So like if we wanted to do an expression hi equals hello world, exclamation point, and we wanted to break when that value is true, whenever this is actually hello world, we could do that, and that way it would stop the macro from running whenever that condition is true. Or break whenever the value changes. So if a hi goes from being empty to being hello world, that's when it would stop. So there's different ways and different reasons to do that, but we're just going to watch the expression and see what happens. So now we have a watch, and it's got a little glasses symbol, and it would have a little stop button if you wanted to break, if true, and etc. So hi, and the value is out of context because we don't have anything running, but it's always watching. It's always watching the variable hi. So let's hit F8 and start this one up. Value is blank right now. Value is now hello world. And that's pretty much it. But that's your watch menu, and now it's still watching it, as opposed to the locals menu, which is only watching whenever the macro is running, and it's watching everything. Let's say you had 60 variables in your current code. Well, you don't want to see all that maybe. Maybe you just want to see this one and that one and this expression. So you just hover over those and right click and say, hey, add to watch menu. So that is pretty much it for the view. There is the Project Explorer and Properties window. That's right here and right here. So hey, what do? I don't see the properties of this current item. Well, you could hit F4, or you could go to View, Properties, and there's your properties again. Yeehaw. Same with the VBA Project Explorer. You just go to View and Project Explorer, which apparently is Control R, and then you have your stuff back. So that's important if you lose your stuff. Toolbars, as we've seen, we added the edit thing up here. We're going to add the debug thing right here as well in a moment. That's it for the view menu.